Welcome to the final exam, question number 8, and it says that a wood column is used to support a concentric load of 100 kips. So we have 100 kip load. The column is 24 feet long. Okay, so let's do L equals 24 foot. And its end restraints are against lateral movement. Okay. Assume that the column has a high LD value and will tend to fail by buckling, and therefore use the following long column formula. Allowable unit stress is in compression parallel to the grain equals, so allowable unit stress, so let's do F compression, so let's say FA is axial, and you can do FC E, that's L divided by D, that's an L, squared. And it says E equals 1,600 KSI, or 1.6 million PSI. And then L, D, least dimension of the column. Okay. L is the unsupported length, which ours is 24 foot times 12 inches per foot equals, what is that? 12 times 24 equals 288 inches. And then it is asking us, what is the minimum size that may be used? Alright, so we have what? Let's write down the equations we know. Well, let's take a look at this. And it says the allowable is this. We know our actual is going to be FA is the stress, and axial stress equals P over A. So that's going to be our actual. We know P, so let's just go ahead and start plugging stuff in. And then when we get stuck, we'll say, hey. And then A is going to equal, it's a column. It doesn't really say it has to be a post, like a square post, but it looks like all of our answers are squares, so it's going to be side times side. Or D is the least dimension of the column, so we're going to say D squared. I hope that makes sense. 100 over D squared. Now we just need to solve for D, because we have E, we have L, we need to solve for D. Which you could say, okay, plug and chug, and I guess that's the way I would do it, because they're giving you answers, and just put stuff in and see what you get. So let's make a little graph or chart as we've done in the past. I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. Whoops, that's not a D. That is a D. This is 8 times 8, 10 times 10, 12 times 12, and 14 times 14. And just a quick test taking thing I would do is you're looking for the minimum size, so I would start at C, meaning if C doesn't work, then D has to work. I hope that makes sense. Alright, so let's do area, or we could do D. D squared equals what, and D equals what. Then we can say FA equals what, and then FA equals what. Alright, so D squared is going to be 7.5 times 7.5. This I'm using actual. 56.25 inches squared. Actually, remember I said let's start at 12. Let's just do that real quick. 11.5 times 11.5 equals 132.25 inches squared. And then that means our D is going to be 11.5. Probably should have switched these around. D is going to equal 7.5, meaning that let's do this first. 100 divided by 132.25 equals 0.76. Then what did I do incorrectly here? Let's go ahead and change it to PSI. Let's say this is 100,000 PSI. So that's 0.76 KSI. So that's, actually I'm just going to use it in PSI, which is 756 PSI is the actual. The allowable is 0.3 times E, which is 1600123, divided by, open parentheses, L, which is 288, divided by D, which is 11.5, squared, and we get 765.3, or 765 is fine. Let's say PSI. And that just barely works because our FA is greater, our allowable is greater than our actual, and that's what we want. Alright, so we actually got our answer. It is going to be C. And you could go through all these, and tell you what, I'll just go ahead and quickly do that. This is going to be 9.5 times 9.5, which is 9.5 squares is 90.25. Actually, there's no reason to go through this. This is just about right on, but it's right above, so this is going to be your answer is C. So go ahead and circle C. If you want to go through this just to feel better about yourself and see that this is the right answer, this is so stinking close that's going to be good. And I guess, tell you what, if you say, well, maybe 10 by 10 works, maybe 10 by 10 has an FA of 760. It's not going to. It's going to be much less than that, and the FA is going to be higher. But let's go ahead and do that. So if you don't feel comfortable with that, you like to be thorough, that's all right. Say 100,000 kips, or 100,000 pounds, sorry, 100 kips, divided by your D squared, which is also your area, 90.25, so that's going to be higher, equals 1,108 PSI. As you can see, that's a lot higher PSI, a lot higher actual PSI. And then we want to look at our, over here, and use this equation, and say 0.3 times 1600, 1, 2, 3 zeros, divided by, open parentheses, 288, divided by D, which is 9.5, close parentheses, squared, 522.3. 522 PSI. As you can see, this is not greater than that. And we know that this is going to be much, much less. We know that this will be greater, and let's just go ahead and do that exercise. Once again, if you don't care, just push end. Go to the next problem. But we'll do it just in case you want to know. D squared. Alright, D is going to be 13.5. And I might be messing up some of these. I think they're all minus a half inch for the between nominal and actual. I'm assuming that, and I think it's a good assumption. It is 182.25 inches squared. Okay, so FA is going to be 100,000 divided by D squared, or area, which is 182.25. And that's 54, 55, we'll say 55. What did I do here? That doesn't make any sense. I think I messed up something. No, I didn't. It's actually 54. Is that right? Okay, I'm going to try this again. No, I think I did 10,000. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be 548. 182.25. I only did 10,000 instead of 100,000. That was a dummy check. I noticed that going all the way down to just 54 would be way too much change. So that seems about right. I went about down 400. I went down 200. Yeah, okay. That I can express that. I can understand that. This should go up a heck of a lot more, and this should be around, let's guess, 900. So 0.3 times 160 0. 1, 2, 3 more zeros. Divided by, open parentheses, 288 divided by our D, which is 13.5, close parentheses squared. And I get 1,055, which was higher than my 950. I think I guessed 950. It's 1,050, so it's 300 above here. Well, this is only around 230, so I probably should have guessed higher even then. I should have guessed around 1,000. So it's 1,055. So this is, you could say, this is double the capacity that we need. So it's much greater than that. I wouldn't use this in that case, much greater. But just so you see, this is greater than this is greater, and therefore C is our right answer. I will see you on question 9.